Hey there, everyone. Tonight on a special episode of Steven's NFL Podcast, we have a lot to talk about, and believe me, we have a lot to talk about. As a Tennessee Titans fan, I want to talk about the Tannehill and the Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Ryan Tannehill video that popped up in TikTok. We're also going to be talking about Chicago Matt Nagy's final decision to put Andy Dalton as the starting QB. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to have Andy Dalton the starting QB. We're also going to talk about draft needs for all 32 NFL teams. And then police investigation began with Deshaun Watson, and that is very bad. And the possibility that Alex Smith could be the guy to replace him. Guess we'll just have to see. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Seriously, today was crazy. To all you Chicago Bears fans, it doesn't matter which QB you draft in. It doesn't matter when you get a QB. Andy Dalton is going to be the starting QB. Yeah, Andy Dalton's going to be the starting QB. Matt Nagy confirmed it. It was a shocking revelation. Vinroy Barrett, welcome. So yeah, Chicago Bears, no matter what QB they get, even if they draft one, there is no doubt 100% that Andy Dalton is the starting QB for the Chicago Bears. C. Cruz, welcome. It was kind of crazy. I would have waited until the draft to announce this. Darius Howell, welcome. Seriously. Chicago Bears are literally placing their faith in Andy Dalton right now after failing to get Chicago Bears to trade for Russell Wilson. Seriously. It was confirmed. No matter what, Andy Dalton would be the starter, and that is kind of crazy. Seriously, they just announced it before the draft. Unbelievable, people. Unbelievable. But hey, Andy Dalton's a veteran. We can't count him out. He did, even though he lost all those games with those playoff games with the Bengals, at least he got the Bengals to the playoffs. That is something to accomplish. Seriously, sure, they were all losses in the first round. Sure, they were all losses. Dalton is okay at QB. Yeah, exactly, Vinroy Barrett. My guess is that they felt like they're ready to roll the dice with Andy Dalton. But need I remind you of who's in the division? Detroit Lions, who's going with Jared Goff as the QB. Minnesota Vikings, who, by the way, improved that defense all too well. Yeah. They used free agency on defense to improve that 27th worst defense. Did Alex Smith went to the Texans? Darius Howell. No, he did not. Texans are saying that they are looking into Alex Smith should anything happen to Deshaun Watson. Unless, of course, D, welcome. What do you think the record will be for my team? You know what, D, I'm going to answer that question when it's scheduled release day. I mean, seriously. When I do the official schedule special, then I'll answer that question, DD. And Darius Howell, there is no word on Alex Smith joining Texans yet. Seriously, they launched the Houston Police Department launched an investigation into Deshaun Watson. So I'm pretty certain they want to get that out of the way before anything. But if Deshaun Watson's gone, yeah, they'll look into Alex Smith, but I hope that doesn't take too long because Alex Smith could be looked at by other teams by then. But they are saying that Alex Smith could be looked at by the Texans if Deshaun Watson leaves before fall. That is what I'm saying. If Deshaun Watson leaves before fall, Alex Smith would be looked at. Just call me D. Make it easier for you. Okay, D. So yeah, Darius Howell. Deshaun Watson is under investigation. They're gonna focus on that before going into Alex Smith. We're going up against the Packers week 17, which should be the best game of the season. We don't know it. D. We don't know the schedule yet. We don't know if any of these games are going to be either week 17 or week. Just because they moved it to 17 games doesn't mean they're going to make the schedule official. But speaking of schedules, Atlanta Falcons, they were the first team to announce that they're playing in London. Yep, the Falcons are playing in London for the first time since 2014. Yeah, it took 6 years. The NFL confirmed its Packers for week 17, but other than that, we don't know. I'll just have to wait. I'll have to check the official announcement after this. Do you see us being the Seahawks this year? Vinroy Barrett. I think I will save that for the schedule special. I mean, seriously. I want to wait till the release day before bringing that up. So any thoughts on Joe Thuney going to the Chiefs? It's kind of a smart move, especially when losing both your tackles. And Joe Thuney, Joe Thuney was what made the media today. I mean, seriously. He literally made the media today. Okay, D, you confirmed it. All extra games are week 17, not just Chiefs and Packers. All extra games are on week 17. So thanks for the reminder. Which means all the extra games are on week 17. As a Titans fan, can we trade for players in the draft? You have to be pretty desperate. Speaking of Titans and Saints, Darius, those two teams were the only ones that had contact with Xavier Collins today during the Tulsa Pro Day. No problem, Steve. I tried to tell you, LOL. Well, at least we now know which day Titans and Saints and Titans will be duking it out. But they're already duking it out for Xavier Collins during Pro Day. I mean, seriously, Titans general manager John Robinson trained Xavier Collins today, and Saints general manager had contact with him today. Or should I say assistant general manager Jeff Ireland. Yeah, John Robinson and Jeff Ireland made contact with Xavier Collins today. John Robinson trained him while Jeff Collins talked with him. Do you think Derrick Henry rushes for another 2,000 yards? With the extra game, it is possible. It is possible. With the extra game, D, it could be possible. Despite how tough the schedule is. So basically, it's going to go with the extra game. So basically, with the extra game, it's basically going to be week 1 through 16 is going to be normal. But then all extra games will be on week 17 before the divisional game becomes week 18. Final week 8. Patty Wacker, welcome. What if Titans signed Richard Sherman? I think they're more focused on the draft more than any other free agents right now. I think it confirms it. So who did Titans go for Pro Day so far? So far, Titans have been... So far, John Robinson's been through a lot of Pro Days. Pro Days himself. Tulsa was the latest. He's been to Alabama. He's been to he also checked his boys out in Tennessee with Mike Vrabel. Crap, I forgot about the list. I think they also checked Clemson. Crap, I cannot believe it. But Tulsa was the latest one today, but I do remember Alabama and Tennessee. The NFLPA confirmed that there will be 17 regular season games, 2 preseason games not free, and the Super Bowl will be February. Yes, I already know 2 out of 3 of these things, T, but thanks for the 2 preseason season game one. I thought it was going to be free. Saints fan 101, welcome. So since Jeff Ireland and John Robinson were the only ones to make contact with Xavier Collins, Titans or Saints could be the ones to draft him in the first round. But I do know Titans have looked at a lot of guys so far. I think they looked into Xavier Collins, also looked into, I think, about most of Alabama's guys. I think they also looked at Josh Palmer and Trey Smith. I don't know if they checked out Florida or LSU. I think they went to Notre Dame. Yeah, it was a tough one to lose Damian Wilson to the Jaguars. Speaking of which, Bobby Smith, welcome. Let's move on to draft needs, shall we? Speaking of the Jaguars, here's their top 5 draft needs. QB, which we all know it will be Trevor, which we all know will fill that void with Trevor Lawrence. At number 1, tight end. defensive line, safety, and offensive line. Now, we all know Jaguars, they're going to pick Trevor Lawrence no matter what with the number 1 pick. But we don't know what they're going to do with the pick the Rams gave them. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's easy to pick Trevor Lawrence, but with the extra pick they got from the Rams, it could be difficult. Oh, we can draft Palmer in the 4-5 because he's underrated. I think they also looked into Elijah Moore as well. How did it feel when Corey Davis left the Titans? Well, D, it was very tough. It was very tough. But losing Jonnu Smith hurt me more than losing Corey Davis. And not draft the QB like Jordan Love. Vinroy, none of the QBs in 2020 thrilled the Titans. So no, I wasn't worried back then. It's especially, but it was a tough day for all the Green Bay Packers fans when they found out Jordan Love was their pick after trading up with Miami. I mean, seriously. All Packers fans really curled in a ball when they heard Jordan Love's name get drafted as their pick. Please do not sleep on the Jags. I know that, Vinroy. I wasn't born yesterday. Supposedly, the Ravens are entertained with the many team offers for Orlando Brown Jr. and the Chiefs are included. Can you imagine us having Orlando Brown Jr.? That'd be crazy. Yeah, that would be crazy. But the Orlando Brown Jr. trade will require handing over a first-round draft pick, though. I'm pretty sure Chiefs would have to be pretty desperate to hand over a first-round pick to the Ravens. Now I remember more Tennessee Titans pro days. They also visited Purdue's pro day to check on Rondale Moore. They also checked on Minnesota with Rashad Bateman. Yeah, John Robinson was actually at Minnesota's pro day to check on Rashad Bateman. I think they were also in South Carolina to check out J.C. Horn. We will draft the tackle with our first rounder this year. You better, D. You better. Okay, we did Jaguars first 5 needs. Let's go with the Jets. They have the second pick in the draft, and they got number 23, and they also got number 22 thanks to the Seattle Seahawks. The Jets' top 5 needs are QB, cornerback, offensive line, edge, and tight end. What are our needs? Jeez. Okay, D, since you asked nicely, I'll tell you. Kansas City Chiefs needs are offensive linemen, edge rusher, cornerback, wide receiver, and tight end. Again, offensive lineman, cornerback, edge rusher, wide receiver, and tight end. Those are Kansas City Chiefs needs. Aaron Jones is good. Yeah, you guys risked a lot to keep Aaron Jones, Bobby Smith. It was okay, at this point, Titans are drafting wide receiver or cornerback in first. Finroy Barrett. Here's Titans needs. Wide receiver and cornerback are too, but they also need offensive linemen. They need a tight end, and there's also safety in there as well. So Trayvon Mulrick could be in the cards, and it would be a surprising first-round pick. The guy from BYU. I think that would be a shocker to put Trayvon with the Titans. But still, wide receiver or cornerback is mostly important. You guys lost Kelly, the tackle, right? Right. How did it feel losing him? I was very mad, but here's the thing. We signed Kendall Lamb before that release. And when Kendall Lamb was signed, I felt like, oh crap, we were releasing Dennis Kelly. I knew it. And I was extremely mad. Mad to lose both him and Adoree Jackson on the same day. At least Dennis Kelly is still a free agent. Adoree Jackson is now with the New York Giants with Logan Ryan. I mean, seriously. Who's gonna be the one signing Dennis Kelly? I think it could be Kansas City. Because guess what? I think it could be Kansas City because I think the Chiefs are in need of a tackle, and I think losing Mitchell Schwartz could be a sign that they need in the right position. Maybe Dennis Kelly could sign with Kansas City. I want a blockbuster trade. We all do. But I think San Francisco already created the blockbuster. Right. How are Titans supposed to top a San Francisco 49ers blockbuster? I mean, seriously. They traded up to number 3. 49ers traded up to number 3. And we all know it's going to be a QB. Speaking of Kansas City, the Chiefs really replaced Britt Reed today. I mean, seriously. It took them until April to finally get a replacement. Boy, oh boy. Did you have news from Titans? Nothing so far other than John Robinson attending the Tulsa Pro Day today. Nothing so far other than Nothing so far other than John Robinson attending the Pro Day, unless you count them losing Jamil Douglas to Buffalo. Yeah, I already made a video about that. Yeah, Jamil Douglas leaving for Buffalo is the only news Titans had today. And now Titans, they may have to look into that offensive lineman. And signing with Buffalo means Jamil Douglas will be battling against all 5 of his former teams. Not just Titans, all 5 of his former teams. He was with Indianapolis for a week. He was with Miami Dolphins. He was with New England Patriots. And he worked with Atlanta. What were your thoughts when we signed Kyle Long? Honestly, it was a shocker. It was quite a shocker. Aaron Rodgers is going to end his career in Green Bay. Bobby Smith, I think you're right. He will end his career in Green Bay. What were your thoughts when we signed Austin Blythe? I was like, what? This is my expression. A check free agency in Breland from Chiefs. Tighten up. Welcome. What were your thoughts when we signed Jaron Reed? It was quite a shocker. Breland might be coming to Tennessee. I don't know. Vinroy. Green Bay Packers is going to the Super Bowl. Who knows? Third time may be the charm, Bobby Smith. Third time might be the charm. Speaking of Green Bay Packers, let's move on to theirs. Packers need a cornerback, a defensive and offensive line, linebacker, and wide receiver. Hope the Packers break the championship curse. Do you think Audrey will be a game changer for the Colts? Audrey's no longer with the Colts, D. He's working with the Titans. I think Audrey could be a game changer for the Titans. I mean, seriously, I thought we were going to draft Barmore or get Jarrell Casey back. Audrey was a complete shocker. I mean, seriously, Audrey was a complete shocker. I mean, seriously, Audrey was a complete shocker. SM Ducky, welcome. But just be careful what you say, all right? What has been your favorite free agent signing from any team? Boy, oh boy. I have to say the best one would have to be. Oh, crap. I'm tied between the Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry signings because New England Patriots, they are hoping to rebuild that Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez era. I mean, seriously. Bud Debris jerks. Other than that New York Jets safety, Malayas, so far, other than that safety from New York Jets, Tennessee Titans have only signed guys that make the playoffs. Sammy Watkins is with Baltimore now. Tighten up. Do you like the Joe Tooney signing? I think it could work. I think a part of me thinks it could work with Kansas City. Protect Patrick Mahomes at all costs. Speaking of Jadeveon Clowney, keep your eyes open because he might get signed this month. Now that he could be 100% better soon, so we could see Clowney signed before the draft. Or O-line may not be good this year. We'll just have to see, won't we? Maybe Titans need to hope they battle Kansas City Chiefs soon. I like the Josh Reynolds move. Yeah, because he and Ryan Tannehill play for the same school. Connie is a comeback. God. SM Ducky, you really do have your faith in Clowney. Because some people don't. But believe me, I am one of the people who wants Clowney back on the Titans. But some people just don't know when to listen. They listened to last year and then sleazeballs. He is signing as we speak. 4 years, $38 million. I had jerk offs. I don't know if I don't think that's true yet. It's confirmed by scientists. Please bring back Clowney. Titans, what's the holdup? What's the holdup is that other teams might be looking at him. King Isaac, welcome. I mean, seriously, Cleveland Browns looked into him. There's still some signs from New York Giants or Atlanta Falcons. And Seattle might want him back. Clowney's not going to the Browns. He hates them. You think the Browns are going to sign Clowney? Anything could be possible, Darius. Remember, Sammy Watkins left Baltimore without a contract. What happens after his Indianapolis Colts meeting? He signs with Baltimore. Anything could be possible at this rate. Anything could be seriously possible. Speaking of Cleveland, let's check out their needs. Browns need an edge rusher, cornerback, linebacker, defensive tackle, and offensive line. Yeah, that's Cleveland Browns needs right there. Offensive line and 4 defensive needs. And expect a lot of Cleveland Browns fans in the draft. Cleveland needs nothing. They hate everything. They want to suck. SM Ducky, you really... Next thing you're going to say that Browns move draft out of Cleveland. Not going to happen. Yo, Anthony Miller is still a trade offer we could do because Bear wants to trade him. Yeah, but after signing Josh Reynolds, would Tennessee Titans even want Anthony Miller now? I mean, seriously. Browns just traded their show draft for Frank Gore. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Though Cleveland Browns should think about their picks wisely because they host the draft this year. So they're calling the shots. You know as well as I do that every team that hosts the NFL draft makes the playoffs. Raiders didn't count because it was a lockdown. Right? Raiders don't count because it's a lockdown. I mean, seriously, we were locked down during a pandemic. That's probably the reason why Raiders didn't make the playoffs. Other than that, every NFL team that hosts the draft made the playoffs. Ever since they swapped places around the globe and let other teams host the draft. I mean, Tennessee Titans hosted the draft. Look what happened. Made the playoffs. Really want Tennessee to draft guys that's underrated. You really want John Robinson fired. That's what you're saying, Vinroy. I want to draft kicker in the first round. I don't think so. Like Josh Palmer. Finroy, why do you think John Robinson's attending pro days? To avoid the same mistakes he made last year. And every other year. I mean, seriously. John Robinson's attending these pro days to avoid making the exact same mistakes he made every time. As a matter of fact, this is perfect. got more news. Jets signed Deshaun Watson. Yeah, nice try, SM Ducky. I say Jags go 17-0. Nah, not. But still, let's move on to another topic. Remember the Atlanta Falcons? Well, they're the first team to announce that they're playing in London in one of their games. That game is scheduled sometime in October, but we don't know who the Falcons will be playing in London. I mean, seriously, they got a lot. They got a lot to think about. Could a Jacksonville Jaguars game could be in the running? I mean, seriously, they do. Falcons do play the Jaguars. No. We already got that one figured out. No, but they do have the AFC East. They got the NFC East. They got their division foes. They got Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers. Keep in mind, Detroit Lions, they were the team that the Atlanta Falcons played 6 years ago last time they were in London. Could it happen again? Who knows? Which team do you think Atlanta Falcons will be playing in London? I think Texans will be the worst team in NFL. If they do go 0-17, the Miami Dolphins will have the number one pick and therefore will be in the running with some big names. I mean, seriously, Miami Dolphins, they could take control of the next draft afterwards. Imagine if we trade Russell in Seattle, gets Tannehill. Oh, speaking of Tannehill, he posted on TikTok today or yesterday about the same push-up about his push-up contest. He was trying to do the exact same push-up tricks Derrick Henry did. I mean, seriously, his legs were near the ball. But if you saw the two videos, Tannehill did not do as good as Derrick Henry, but hey, at least Ryan Tannehill tried. And at least he's committed to the Titans. Who knows? Maybe A.J. Brown can learn a thing or two from them. Seahawks give us picks. Speaking of Seahawks, they got the least amount of draft picks and these positions. Cornerback, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, and wide receiver. Yeah, Seattle Seahawks have 3 draft picks, and therefore not looking too good. We'll have the least amount of rookies. May have to go undrafted. May have to sign undrafted picks this year. At least Seattle locked in Tyler Lockett. That's a smart thing to do. Make sure Russell Wilson keeps his big man. Now on to Atlanta. There is a chance Atlanta could trade down because they need edge rusher, cornerback, offensive lineman, safety, and the QB. Well, they could go QB, but Falcons may need other needs. They could trade down. I got April Fools because I was looking for any Titans news, but the April Fools, Russell got traded and we got picks. Alex Smith signed with Pennsylvania Steelers 1 year. April Fool's Day is over, people. Get out. And Seahawks got Tannehill. Enough with the April Fool's Day pranks. It's already over. I mean, seriously, whatever Vin Roy and SM Ducky said it is a late April Fool's Day prank. You obviously got pranked, SM Ducky. True. Let's get the lie detector out and you'll see what comes out. How is Josh Allen a 77 in Madden 21? I don't know. I don't know who invented the game. Believe me, tighten up. I don't know. Speaking of Buffalo, let's move on to their needs. Buffalo needs edge rusher, cornerback, tight end, running back, offensive line. I know, right? What the heck is up with the Madden NFL guys? That is what I call crazy. Will you be live for the draft? Yes, Vinroy Barrett, I will be live for the draft. But here's the thing. Yes, I will be live for the draft all 3 days. Yep, I will be live all 3 days. Of course, this is the only time I do all 3 days. Afterwards, I can only do Thursday and Friday. After this year, I'm only doing Thursday and Fridays. But yeah, this year I'm doing all 3 days. Rounds 4 through 7 will be a review of round 1 through 3. Meanwhile, we continue with the draft. I think he's going to be a 99 when Madden 24 comes out, or 23. Speaking of, let's talk about this rule proposal Kansas City Chiefs tried to make. I mean, seriously, the Chiefs want most of the positions to be single digit. Can you imagine Derrick Henry wearing number 2 again because the Kansas City Chiefs want to change that? I mean, seriously. Still, Derrick Henry getting his original number could be good. Because running backs is one of those departments. I do not mislead anyone. If whatever SM Ducky says is not true, Believe me, SM Ducky is just 100% trying to make me lose it. Believe me, I do not mislead. I do not mislead anyone. Period. Thank you, Darius. Because believe me, if there were news, I would have been informed by now. But no, there were no breaking news so far. Derrick Henry must his a MLB. Me neither, tighten up. Me neither. The draft is going to be pretty exciting this year. Hopefully this is the year Titans break that first round streak. I mean, seriously. If someone runs a 4.20, I will break my Xbox. I hope Titans are going for more in 2. Which more are you talking about, Vinroy? Because there are two in particular, Elijah or Rondale. Who is going to sign Quan Alexander? I don't know if Quan Alexander is signed yet. I don't know. Elijah. Okay, Vinroy, I think. If he's not signed, I think Quan Alexander could go back to San Francisco. Did we sign Quan Alexander? I don't know if Quan Alexander is interested in being a Tennessee Titan. Plus, we were looking at Xavier Collins today. Yeah, I can tell. SM Ducky, this is not April Fool's Day. I mean, seriously. I'm trying. Yeah, this is not April Fool's Day, SM Ducky. Believe me, if it was yesterday, I would have taken a laugh. April Fool's Day was yesterday, SM Ducky. Bro, Titans could get a good cornerback, but they take too long. Like, Wood is gone now. I mean, seriously, the only thing they did with cornerback so far is Janoris Jenkins. I mean, seriously, they bring in Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins, and they're trusting their future in Christian Fulton. Unless, of course, they could bring in someone that could really turn it around. Duck Kevin Johnson. Still, if Caleb Farley does fall into Tennessee Titans pick, I would be shocked to see Caleb Farley get drafted get drafted all the way to the 20s. I mean, seriously, any team in the 20s. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons was top 5, right? Then he got drafted at 19 by the Titans. I miss Adoree Jackson. I want to eat him and chew him up. Blame the guy who recruited him to the New York Giants. Anyways, I'm going to call it for the night. See you all next time.